Everybody first. We got to say hello to start things.
When people describe your defense, what do you want them to say?
You know, I want them to say that the kids are playing with great enthusiasm. You know, I think effort and, excitement, all those words kind of get thrown around. Enthusiasm to me is a choice and is really a reflection of what we're doing in the building, how the coaches are interacting with them. And, and seeing them play with enthusiasm on game day is, I think, is a great look into how we're teaching our kids and how they're, building a relationship with the coaches.
Do you have a certain style of defense that you lean towards, a 3-4, 4-3?
You know, I get that question a lot, as you'd imagine. I want to think of this staff as being a defensive staff. You know, it's really easy to be a 3-down or a 4-down guy. I think we'll have best success of identifying what our guys do best, develop them into those roles. Now, we will be a 3-down, we'll be a multiple front team. We will. But I think as a coach, before you want to be something, I'm not going to tackle anybody this year. Not a soul. So it's very important to identify what those guys are going to do and what our roster is. And in college football, we're not drafting kids. We're not drafting kids to a certain system. We're finding kids that are great football players. They're going to give us everything they have, and those are the guys that will be on the field. So we got to really cater in the front end and the back end to that situation.
Do you think enthusiasm and energy, does that start with you? Because I've seen some of the clips of you mic'd up in the past, and you're a guy who bounces around the practice field. And do you think players feed off of that?
I don't know if they feed off it, but, that's how we want to be. We met as a D staff this morning, and we talked about really creating an environment that kids want to be around. We're talking about 17 to 21-year-old guys, and it's not only is it just coaching, but it's recruiting, it's retaining, and it's attracting guys to want to be around us. So our energy, they're either going to feed off it or they're going to, we got to pull them with us. And, I think another big thing of it is how do you inspire people? It's not just about X's and O's. It's a lot about motivation. It's a lot about getting guys excited to come to practice and getting guys to perform on Saturdays.
I know the first couple weeks probably a whirlwind of moving and recruiting and everything with signing day, but what do you know about your defense and what you have coming back?
Well, we actually started going over it today. I've gone through the last 2 weeks and we've made a cut-up of all the players that are coming back, which is really their resume. For a lot of people that want to play more, change is great. For the young guys that are coming in, change is great because at this point, it doesn't matter if you've been here 5 years or you've been here for 5 weeks. As we install and make some tweaks to the system, everyone's going to be on that first floor, I guess, as you say it. And then as they develop, then you'll see guys that increase playing time.
Having the opportunity to come to coach with Coach Petrino, what was that like? What do you see as that opportunity there?
Well, I think his body of work from where he's been and what he's done here has been great. It's been to get this program where it's at, and with development of Lamar and really, the stamp. When you say Louisville football, I mean, you're talking about a team that can go out and compete to win it all every year. And to be in the upper echelon of the ACC, I think it gives you a great opportunity to go out there and talk to these kids and these recruits and our own players that we'll go out and we expect to win every game.
What does it mean to be a defensive coordinator on a program that has such a high-powered offense?
It's awesome. I mean, let's face it, right? I mean, we're trying to outscore people and we're trying to minimize scoring on defense. So to be lucky enough with a staff and Coach Petrino and the skill players here, we love points on defense now. We love them. So great.
You talked about meeting with your staff. What do you know about the guys on your staff? What have you learned about them?
Well, I mean, Court Dennison was actually just leaving the University of Washington when I was getting there. So I've known Court for actually several years now. So I'm excited about him. LD, getting to know, and Coach Ward. We've been road dogs out recruiting, so we've spent some time together. So I'm excited that everyone, Coach Ward has been in a lot longer than LD or Court or myself. And Court is still relatively young, and LD is relatively young. So I think it's great to have some variety. I really think it is. So you get too many similar people, I don't think you get good results. And too many people that are pulling different directions, I don't think you get the buy-in that's necessary. So I feel good about the guys.
Will you coordinate the linebackers?
Yeah, I'll be coordinating. I'll be also coaching linebackers, yes.
What about Coach Ward? What have you you learned from him already, and what are you looking forward to learn from him?
Well, the places he's been, in conferences, and I think he's going to have a huge amount of influence on how we build things here. He's coordinated, he's done it all. So I think that's something that is a very valuable resource, a sounding board that, this is a we and us proposition. I'm up here, I'm fortunate enough to have the title as defensive coordinator, but as a defensive staff, this is a we and us proposition, and it's my responsibility to make sure that we're all pointing in the same direction, but I got a lot of respect, and those guys will bring a lot of value, and I'll depend on them a lot.
Part of this transition is getting up to speed in recruiting. I know you can't mention individual prospects, but do you like where you are recruiting defensive-wise?
Yeah, I know, we've targeted some areas that, bring in some numbers, positionally, and what I've liked the most is getting out and getting to know the players. It's a people business. It's good people. It's not the acquisition of talent. You're not collecting talent. You're trying to build a team wherever you're at. And to see these young guys and to see some of the support they have from their high schools, I'm excited to get them on campus.
As a defensive coach, when you sit down with Coach Petrino and says, okay, I want to hire you, does he go over what kind of expectations he wants for this defense, or does he kind of give that to you?
It went back and forth. I mean, the head coach is going to, he's the head coach. So as we go through, and we'll sit down here in a few days and start talking about the direction of some installs, and as we start pointing towards spring football and getting out of the recruiting mode, we'll sit down a lot more and talk about the schematics. I know he wants guys that are playing fast. I know he wants guys that know exactly what to do, and then go out and perform at a high level.
How do you, your playing career and what you did as a player, how do you install a little of that into your guys?
When I got recruit, and I was blessed, to play in the NFL. And I tell people, for me to get in the NFL, there were so many people along the way that, were supporting me and built me up and gave me that opportunity, that as a player, that has played, I think there's a little bit, I think it's exciting for guys to know that they're playing for someone that is, the same thing they're aspiring to do. I think that's good. But at the same time, it's not about me. And, as a player, sometimes, especially an NFL player, it's all about you. And for me, it's how do we get these guys to play at their highest level, to enjoy coming here, and to really see a development day in and day out.
When you were starting your evaluations of the current guys, what do you think of the guys up front, having replaced Angelo Brown, and who was that sort of rock there in the middle? And does that change almost the whole scheme of defense in a way that not that zero technique guy or not having him anymore?
Well, I mean, that's part of it, and it's not only who you're losing, but, who's coming back, where you see their development going to be. And that video is a good resume. It really is. It's a starting off point. But as you get to know them, as you get to understand what their strengths and weaknesses are, and as you put together all 11, I don't think you can say I'm going to build from the first level and then the second and the third. I think it's got to be something that all collectively comes together. So the resumes are the resumes. The good thing is, that's kind of my baseline of what they are. They can change that any time with their behavior or their play.
Is there one of those levels that stands out to you now as maybe who you do kind of build around, or that you can rely on the most as far as you got coming back?
I wouldn't say that. I really wouldn't. I think it's we got to look at the defense collectively, and kind of see where those 25, 30 guys that are going to play for us, how they all fit together.
You comment on what the guys that are enrolled now, CJ, Cam, and Lynn.
We're lucky to have them on campus. They're pups, and it'd be great to get out of recruiting mode. So we spend more time in the office, and then that's when the guys come upstairs and you get to know them better, and then you kind of start getting a better feel for how they're doing their first semester in college, and just making sure they're doing well. Yeah.
Everybody who you the first day realized you have family members who are very good recruits. Just kind of talk about how you'll progress with that, and you plan to recruit those guys a little what you're saying.
Well, the good thing about my son is I got a really good in with the mom. So they say if you know the mom, you have a chance. So I got a pretty good line of communication with his mother, so that's going to be a good start. You know, I'm the youngest of 4 boys, and we all played football. There's 16 nieces and nephews from my brother, so there's a lot of good football players out there, and some are older and some are younger, and when they're the right age, we'll do all we can to get them here.
How much does the family, you come from such a football family, how much now does the Sirmon family all over become Louisville fans because of you being here? I mean, it's almost like you get fans in a lot of different areas now.
It's, you know, I've been blessed to be in some great places and be around some great programs, and for relatives or, you know, people I'm related to have those opportunities. You know, they work their butts off, and I'm excited they have those opportunities, and we'll recruit them, and they got to figure it out just like every other young man.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.